15 years old, high school freshman, and he just signed deals that most professional athletes dream about their entire careers. Miles Russell, a name you might not know yet, but trust me, after today, you'll never forget it. Because what this kid from Jacksonville Beach, Florida is doing isn't just breaking records, it's shattering them into a million pieces. And the money he's making? It's absolutely insane. Asterisk, picture this. April 2024. Miles Russell walks into a TaylorMade Golf headquarters meeting. He's barely old enough to drive. His voice is still cracking. He's wearing his high school golf team jacket. And across the table from him are executives from one of the biggest golf equipment companies in the world. They're not offering him a free set of clubs. They're not giving him a discount. They're handing him a multi-year name, image, and likeness deal worth more money than most people make in a decade. And TaylorMade isn't alone. Asterisk, Nike. The swoosh. The brand that turned Michael Jordan into a billionaire. The company that pays LeBron James a lifetime contract worth over $1 billion. They want Miles Russell too. At 15, before he's even graduated high school, before he's played a single round on the PGA Tour, before most people even know his name. Why? Because Nike and TaylorMade see something that the rest of us are just starting to understand. Miles Russell isn't just another junior golfer. He's not just the next big thing. He might be the biggest thing since Tiger Woods. Asterisk and the numbers. The contracts. The amount of money flowing into this teenager's bank account. When I tell you what these deals are worth, your jaw is going to hit the floor. Because we're not talking about thousands. We're not even talking about hundreds of thousands. We're talking about the kind of money that changes lives, changes families, changes everything. This is the untold story of how a 15-year-old became one of the richest junior athletes in the world. If you want to know exactly how much Miles Russell is making and why these companies are betting millions on a high school kid. Hit that subscribe button right now, because what you're about to hear will absolutely blow your mind. Let me start by telling you something that most people don't understand about the modern sports world. The old days of amateur athletes starving until they turn pro, they're over, dead. Finished, thanks to nil deals, name, image, and likeness agreements. High school athletes can now make more money than their parents. And Miles Russell. He's at the absolute top of that food chain. Asterisk in April 2024. TaylorMade Golf made an announcement that sent shockwaves through the golf world. They signed Miles Russell to an NIL agreement. Now, TaylorMade didn't reveal the exact dollar amount. Companies rarely do. But here's what we know. And buckle up, because this gets wild. Asterisk TaylorMade released a statement saying, Miles' record-setting success at his young age is nothing short of remarkable, and we are excited he chose us to support him in his growth as a golfer to continue to accomplish his career goals. Identifying and developing the top junior talent in the world has always been a priority for us at TaylorMade. Miles and his family epitomize the type of athlete and human being we are looking to add to. Team TaylorMade. Read between those lines. When TaylorMade talks about identifying and developing top junior talent, they're not messing around. This is the same company that has Tiger Woods, Rory McIlroy, Scottie Scheffler, Nelly Korda, Dustin Johnson on their roster. These are the biggest names in golf. Multi-major champions. Players making tens of millions per year. And they just added a 15-year-old high school kid to that list. Asterisk. Now let's talk numbers. Because while TaylorMade won't publicly disclose Russell's exact contract value, we can make some very educated guesses based on comparable deals. Just a month before signing with TaylorMade, Russell had inked another multi-year nil deal with Transcend Capital Advisors, a financial services company. Industry insiders suggest that deal alone is worth 6 figures annually. 6 figures. For a 15-year-old, before taxes, that's more than what the average American household makes in a year. And that was just his first major deal. Asterisk. When TaylorMade came calling, they weren't offering peanuts. Based on similar nil deals in junior golf, and looking at what other top junior athletes across sports are making, conservative estimates put Russell's TaylorMade Deals somewhere in the range of $150,000 to $300,000 per year. And remember, this is a multi-year agreement. We're potentially talking about a deal worth $750,000 to over $1 million total. For a high school freshman, asterisk, but wait, it gets even crazier. Because Nike wanted in too. That's right. The biggest athletic apparel company on planet Earth. The brand that basically prints money. They looked at Miles Russell and said, "We need this kid on our team." Asterisk now, Nike operates differently than TaylorMade. They don't just sponsor golfers. They build empires. LeBron James has a lifetime deal with Nike reportedly worth over $1 billion. Kevin Durant got a lifetime contract worth $300 million plus. Caitlin Clark, the college basketball sensation, signed an 8-year deal worth $28 million. Tiger Woods has been with Nike for decades and deals worth hundreds of millions. Asterisk and Miles Russell. He's now part of that family. The exact terms of his Nike deal haven't been publicly disclosed either, but here's what we do know. Nike doesn't sign athletes they don't believe in, and they especially don't sign 15-year-olds unless they see massive long-term potential. Industry experts estimate that Russell's Nike deal is likely structured similarly to other top junior and college athlete agreements, potentially worth anywhere from $75,000 to $200,000 annually, with significant performance bonuses and escalators built in. Asterisk, think about what that means. Between TaylorMade and Nike alone, Miles Russell could be making $250,000 to $500,000 per year as a high school student, before he's legally allowed to vote, before he can even sign his own contracts without parental consent. Asterisk, but here's where it gets absolutely insane. Those aren't his only deals. Remember, Transcend Capital Advisors? They're still paying him, and there are likely other deals in the pipeline that haven't been announced yet. Clothing, watches, golf balls, training equipment, energy drinks, nutritional supplements. Every company in the golf space wants a piece of Miles Russell because they see what's coming. Asterisk. Let me put this in perspective for you. The average PGA Tour player makes about $1.5 million per year in prize money. That's professionals, guys who have dedicated their entire lives to golf. Guys in their 20s, 30s, 40s competing at the highest level. And here comes Miles Russell, age 15, potentially making $300,000 to $750,000 per year or more from endorsements alone. Without even turning pro, without winning a single dollar in official prize money, and you want to know the craziest part? He's earning every penny. Asterisk, let me tell you why these companies are willing to bet millions on this kid. Miles Russell isn't just good. He's historically great. In 2023 at age 14, he became the youngest player ever to win the LPGA Rolex Junior Player of the Year award. The record he broke? It belonged to Tiger Woods. Tiger held that record for 32 years. 3 decades. And Miles Russell just walked up and shattered it, asterisk at 14. He became the youngest winner ever of the Junior Players Championship at TPC Sawgrass. That's the same course where the professionals play the Players Championship, often called the 5th major. Russell played from the back tees, the same tees the pros use, and dominated the competition. Asterisk, he won the Junior PGA Championship by 7 strokes, shooting 18 under par in 4 rounds. 7 strokes. That's not a victory. That's a massacre. He won 2, a JGA Junior All-Star, events by a combined margin of 15 strokes. 15. He was playing against the best junior golfers in America. Kids who are going to Division I colleges. Kids who dream of playing professionally. And Miles Russell beat them like they were recreational weekend golfers. Asterisk, in April 2024. Russell made history again. He became the youngest player ever to make a cut on the Korn Ferry Tour, at 15 years and 5 months old. The Korn Ferry Tour is one level below the PGA Tour. These are professional golfers fighting for their tour cards, grinding to make it to the big show. And a high school freshman not only competed with them, he finished tied for 20th. He became the youngest player ever to finish in the top 25 of a PGA Tour or Korn Ferry Tour event. Asterisk, let that sink in. Professionals, guys with college golf experience, guys with years on mini tours, guys who have dedicated every waking moment to golf. And Miles Russell, who still has to ask permission to leave class early for tournaments, finished ahead of them. That's why TaylorMade signed him. That's why Nike signed him. Because they're not betting on potential. They're betting on proven results. They're betting on a kid who has already accomplished things that 99.9% of golfers will never accomplish in their entire lives. Asterisk. And here's the thing about these endorsement deals that most people don't understand. It's not just about the base salary. These contracts are loaded with performance bonuses and incentives. Win a major junior tournament? Bonus. Make another Korn Ferry Tour cut. Bonus. Win on the Korn Ferry Tour. Massive bonus. Eventually turn pro and win on the PGA Tour? Life-changing money. Asterisk. TaylorMade's deal with Russell includes full equipment support. He gets custom-fit clubs, a Key 10Ls driver, TP5X golf balls, P-Series irons, all the latest technology, all fine-tuned specifically for his game. On tour, professional golfers pay nothing for this equipment because they're walking advertisements. For Russell, he's getting equipment that would cost tens of thousands of dollars if he had to buy it himself. Plus, he gets his name on a TaylorMade staff bag. That's not just any bag. That's a statement that says I'm not just sponsored, I'm part of the team. Asterisk. Nike's deal presumably includes apparel, shoes, potentially golf balls if he chooses, and massive brand exposure. Russell has already walked inside the ropes with Scottie Scheffler, the world #1, at the Players' Championship. That's access money can't buy. That's Nike opening doors, making connections. Positioning Russell not just as a junior golfer, but as a future star. Asterisk. And the timing of these deals? Absolutely perfect. Russell signed with TaylorMade right as he was making his Korn Ferry Tour debut. The publicity was massive. Every golf outlet covered it. Every social media platform talked about it. That's millions of dollars worth of free marketing for TaylorMade. They're not stupid. They timed it perfectly to maximize exposure. Asterisk. Same with Nike. As Russell continues to make headlines, break records, and compete professionally, Nike's swoosh is right there on his shirt. Every photograph, every television appearance, every social media post, that's brand visibility you literally cannot buy. Well, actually you can. And Nike just did. They bought the next potential superstar of golf before anyone else could. Asterisk. Now, let's talk about what this means for Russell's future. Because here's where things get really interesting. In July 2025, Russell announced he's committed to play college golf at Florida State University. Florida State is a national powerhouse. They reached the NCAA championship finals in 2024. They produced Luke Clanton, who just earned a PGA Tour card through the accelerated program. Asterisk. This is huge for several reasons. First, Russell can now tap into NIL money at the college level, on top of his existing deals. Schools can directly compensate student athletes now. Florida State, with one of the top golf programs in the country, will absolutely take care of their star recruit. Second, staying in college keeps Russell eligible for amateur competitions, while still making money. He can compete in U.S. amateur events, Walker Cup, all the prestigious amateur tournaments, while cashing checks from Nike and TaylorMade. Asterisk. Third, and this is the big one, staying in school and developing his game gives him even more leverage when he eventually does turn pro. If Russell continues his trajectory, if he wins college tournaments, maybe wins a college national championship. If he continues competing in professional events on sponsor exemptions and keeps making cuts, by the time he's 18 or 19 and ready to turn pro, he's going to command deals that make his current contracts look like pocket change. Asterisk. Think about what happened with Caitlin Clark. She dominated college basketball, became a household name, and Nike gave her $28 million over 8 years. That's $3.5 million per year. For a basketball player, golf has even more money. Tiger Woods' Nike deals over his career totaled hundreds of millions. Rory McIlroy has a 10-year deal with Nike, reportedly worth $200 million. That's $20 million per year, just for wearing their clothes and using their equipment. Asterisk if Miles Russell becomes even half the player people think he can be. If he wins a major championship, if he becomes a top 10 player in the world, we're talking about deals worth $50 million, $100 million, potentially more. And Nike and TaylorMade will already have him locked in. They're getting him at a discount now, building loyalty, establishing a relationship that could last decades. Asterisk, but here's what really makes this story incredible. Miles Russell isn't letting the money change him. His dad, Joe Russell, a Florida senior living developer, has been careful to keep Miles grounded. They created the Florida Sunshine Cup, a charity event for junior golfers that has raised $300,000 for local charities including the Nicklaus family. Children's Hospital. Russell practices alone in bunkers for hours. He chips off cart paths. He's obsessive about his craft. His coach, Ramon Biscanza, who also works with PGA Tour players Chris Kirk and Harris English, saw something special in Russell when he was just 6 years old. One chip shot. That's all it took. The technique was sound, the contact crisp, and Biscanza knew this kid was different. Asterisk and the work ethic. It's legendary. Joe Russell remembers the last time he played against his son. Miles was 11 years old. They decided to have their own version of the match. Like Tiger and Phil on TV, Miles went back to the back tees and beat his dad by 10 shots. Joe said, "That's it. I'm done. I can't compete with him anymore." At 11 years old, asterisk, now at 15, 16 soon, Russell is competing against professionals and holding his own. He's making cuts. He's finishing in the top 25. He's hitting shots that make 30-year-old tour pros shake their heads in amazement. On one hole during a Korn Ferry Tour event, he put his tee ball directly behind a tree, just inches from the roots. Most players would punch out. Russell opened up a 3-iron, sent the ball skyward around the tree, curved it, and landed it right next to the green. Tour player Vince Cavello, who has been playing tournament golf for 30 years, said it was the greatest shot he'd ever seen. Asterisk, that's the kind of talent Nike and TaylorMade are paying for. That's why they're willing to invest hundreds of thousands, potentially millions, into a high school kid. Because they know something we're all just starting to realize. Miles Russell isn't just good. He might be once in a generation. Asterisk, compare him to Charlie Woods for a second. Charlie gets all the attention because he's Tiger's son. And don't get me wrong, Charlie is talented. He made a hole-in-one at the PNC Championship. He's winning junior tournaments. But Miles Russell? He's breaking Tiger's records. Not Charlie's. Tiger's. The greatest golfer of all time. And Miles is doing it younger. Asterisk, that's not a knock on Charlie. It's a statement about how historically good Miles Russell is. And the companies with the big checkbooks recognize it. They're not signing him because of his name. They're signing him because of his game. Asterisk. And here's the thing that should terrify every other junior golfer in America. Miles Russell is still getting better. He's 5'7". He's still growing. He's going to get taller, stronger, faster. His swing speed is going to increase. His distance is going to improve. And he's already beating professionals. Asterisk, what happens when he's 18, 19, 20? When he's physically mature, when he's been competing professionally for 3, 4, 5 years? If he's this good now, how good is he going to be then? Asterisk. That's what Nike and TaylorMade are betting on. They're not paying for who Miles Russell is today. They're paying for who Miles Russell is going to be in 5, 10, 15 years. They're buying the ground floor of what could be the next great American golfer. Maybe the next global superstar of the sport. Asterisk, and if they're right. If Miles Russell does become what everyone thinks he can become, then these deals they signed in 2024, these contracts worth hundreds of thousands or low millions, they're going to look like the bargain of the century. Because lifetime deals worth hundreds of millions will follow. Signature shoe lines, golf equipment lines, massive marketing campaigns, the works. Asterisk, Miles Russell is already playing a full bag of TaylorMade. Equipment, driver woods, irons, wedges, putter. All stamped with his nickname smiles on his wedges and putter. That's not just equipment. That's branding. That's preparing for the future when Miles Russell golf equipment could be a real thing. Asterisk. He's already walking around with Nike's swoosh on his shirt. He's already getting invited to walk with Scotty Scheffler at the biggest tournaments. He's already part of the family. And when he turns pro, whenever that is, the transition is going to be seamless. Because all the relationships will already be built. Asterisk. So when people ask how much is Miles Russell making, the answer is, we don't know exactly. These deals are private. Companies don't publicly disclose the terms. But based on industry comparisons, based on what we know about similar NIL deals, based on the caliber of companies involved and the historic nature of Russell's accomplishments, conservative estimates put his total annual endorsement income somewhere between $300,000 to $750,000 or more. Asterisk. As a 15-year-old high school student, playing video games with his friends, going to class, doing homework, and making more money than most adults with master's degrees,